This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away from April to July in 1994 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. K.T. Stevens. She was born in July 1919 and she died in June 1994. Her age was 74 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was lung cancer. K.T. Stevens was an American actress who appeared in a number of films in the 1940s and 1950s, including Kitty Foyle. Her last film role before her death from cancer was in 1994 Whoopi Goldberg film Corrina Corrina. Anita Garvin. She was born in February 1906 and she died in July 1994. Her age was 88 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Anita Garvin was an American stage performer and film actress who worked in both the silent and sound eras. Before her retirement in 1942, she reportedly appeared in over 350 shorts and features for various Hollywood studios. Louise Troy. She was born in November 1933 and she died in May 1994. Her age was 60 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was breast cancer. Louise Troy was an American actress who appeared in film, television, and theater. She is best known for her performances in Tovarick in 1963 and Walking Happy in 1966, for both of which roles she was nominated for Tony Awards. Her signature stage role was that of the lead in High Spirits in 1964. Frances Heflin. She was born in September 1920 and she died in June 1994. Her age was 73 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was lung cancer. Frances Heflin was an American actress. She is best known for her role as Mona Kane Tyler on the soap opera All My Children from 1970 to 1994. A life member of the Actors Studio, Heflin had varying roles on many television series in the 1950s and 1960s. She portrayed Nora Holiday in the CBS radio comedy Holiday and Company. George Peppard. He was born in October 1928 and he died in May 1994. His age was 65 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pneumonia. George Peppard was an American actor known for his leading roles in films and television. He starred opposite Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's and played Hannibal Smith in the television series The A-Team. Royal Dano. He was born in November 1922 and he died in May 1994. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pulmonary fibrosis. Royal Dano was an American character actor known for his distinctive voice and roles in westerns. He provided the voice of Abraham Lincoln in Disney's Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln attraction. Gilbert Rowland. He was born in December 1905 and he died in May 1994. His age was 88 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Gilbert Rowland was a Mexican-American actor who appeared in numerous films from the silent era through the 1980s. He was known for his suave screen presence and roles in both English and Spanish language films. He was twice nominated for the Golden Globe Awards in 1952 and 1964 and inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1960. Barry Sullivan. He was born in August 1912 and he died in June 1994. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was respiratory failure. Barry Sullivan was an American actor of film, television, theater, and radio. In a career that spanned over 40 years, Sullivan appeared in over 100 movies from the 1930s to the 1980s, primarily as a leading actor after establishing himself in the industry, and later as a character actor. Cameron Mitchell. He was born in November 1918 and he died in July 1994. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was lung cancer. Cameron Mitchell was an American actor whose career spanned 55 years across film, stage, and television. Mitchell began his career on Broadway before entering films in the 1950s, appearing in several major features. Later in his career, he became known for his roles in the numerous exploitation films in the 1970s and 1980s. Stephen McNally, he was born in July 1911 and he died in June 1994. His age was 82 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Stephen McNally was an American actor, remembered mostly for his appearances in many westerns and action films. His dark features often cast him as hard-hearted characters, criminals, bullies, and other villains. AUG-SEP, he was born in January 1908 and he died in June 1994. His age was 86 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was respiratory failure. AUG-SEP, born Merwin Bowe, was a comedian and musician known for his work with the K. Kaisers Big Band. With the decline of the big bands, Bowe worked as a solo comedian or in partnership with his old Kaiser associate Mike Douglas. Henry Morgan, he was born in March 1915 and he died in May 1994. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was lung cancer. Henry Morgan was an American humorist known for his satirical radio and television programs. He was a regular panelist on the game show I've Got a Secret and hosted The Henry Morgan Show. Dick Sargent, he was born in April 1930 and he died in July 1994. His age was 64 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was prostate cancer. Dick Sargent was an American actor. He's best known for being the second actor to portray Darren Stevens on the ABC's fantasy sitcom Bewitched. He took the name Dick Sargent from a Saturday Evening Post illustrator artist of the same name. Richard Nixon, he was born in January 1913 and he died in April 1994. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. Richard Nixon served as the 37th President of the United States from 1969 to 1974. He's best known for ending American involvement in Vietnam War and for Watergate scandal, which led to his resignation. Nixon was also vice president under Dwight D. Eisenhower. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, she was born in July 1929 and she died in May 1994. Her age was 64 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis was the First Lady of the United States during the presidency of John F. Kennedy. She was admired for her style and grace and later had a successful career as a book editor. Sonny Sharrock, he was born in August 1940 and he died in May 1994. His age was 53 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Sonny Sharrock was a pioneering jazz guitarist known for his innovative approach to free jazz. He passed away from a heart attack at his home in New York on the day he was scheduled to leave for a European tour. Nicole Brown Simpson, she was born in May 1959 and she died in June 1994. Her age was 35 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was homicide. Nicole Brown Simpson was the ex-wife of O.J. Simpson. She was murdered alongside Rod Goldman outside her Los Angeles home, leading to one of the most publicized trials in American history. Henry Mancini, he was born in April 1924 and he died in June 1994. His age was 70 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pancreatic cancer. Henry Mancini was an American composer, conductor, arranger, pianist, and flutist, often cited as one of the greatest composers in the history of film. He won 4 Academy Awards, a Golden Globe, and 20 Grammy Awards, plus a posthumous Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1995. Kristen Pfaff, she was born in May 1967 and she died in June 1994. Her age was 27 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was drug overdose. Kristen Pfaff was an American musician, best known as the bassist of alternative rock band Hole from 1993 to 1994. Prior to Hole, Pfaff was a bassist and backing vocalist for Minneapolis-based band Janitor Joe. Joe Layton, he was born in May 1931 and he died in May 1994. His age was 63 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was age-related complications. Joe Layton was an American choreographer and director who won multiple Tony Awards for his work on Broadway. He directed the film adaptation of Annie and was known for his innovative staging and choreography. Russell Kirk, he was born in October 1918 and he died in April 1994. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Russell Kirk was an American political theorist and historian known for his influence on 20th century conservatism. His seminal work, The Conservative Mind, helped shape conservative thought in the United States. Kirk emphasized tradition, order, and moral values. Ralph Ellison, he was born in March 1913 and he died in April 1994. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pancreatic cancer. Ralph Ellison was a renowned American novelist, best known for his 1952 novel Invisible Man, which addresses complex social and intellectual issues facing African Americans. He was awarded the National Book Award for Fiction in 1953. Roger Wolcott Sperry, he was born in August 1913 and he died in April 1994. His age was 80 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Roger Sperry was an American neuropsychologist and neurobiologist who won the Nobel Prize in 1981 for his work on the functional specialization of the cerebral hemispheres. His research advanced the understanding of brain lateralization. Richard Scarry, he was born in June 1919 and he died in April 1994. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Richard Scarry was a beloved children's author and illustrator, known for his detailed and humorous books featuring anthropomorphic animals. His Busy Town series has entertained and educated generations of children worldwide. Clement Greenberg, he was born in January 1909 and he died in May 1994. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Clement Greenberg was an influential American art critic closely associated with the development of abstract expressionism. He championed artists like Jackson Pollock and emphasized formalist aesthetics in modern art. John Wayne Gacy, he was born in March 1942 and he died in May 1994. His age was 52 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was execution by lethal injection. John Wayne Gacy was an American serial killer and sex offender who raped, tortured, and murdered at least 33 young men and boys in Norwood Park Township, near Chicago, Illinois. He became known as the Killer Clown due to his public performances as a clown prior to the discovery of his crimes. Eric Erickson, he was born in June 1902 and he died in May 1994. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Eric Erickson was a German-American psychoanalyst known for his theory on the psychosocial development of human beings. He introduced the concept of the identity crisis and authored influential works like Childhood and Society. Roy J. Plunkett, he was born in June 1910 and he died in May 1994. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Roy J. Plunkett was an American chemist who accidentally discovered polytetrafluoroethylene, PTFE, later branded as Teflon, in 1938. His discovery led to the widespread application in non-stick, cookware, and industrial products. W. Graham Plater Jr., he was born in March 1912 and he died in May 1994. His age was 82 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. W. Graham Plater Jr. was an American lawyer and transportation executive who served as president of AMTOC and held various government positions, including Deputy Secretary of Defense. He was known for his leadership in public transportation. Julius Boros, he was born in March 1920 and he died in May 1994. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Julius Boros was a prominent American golfer who won multiple major championships. He died from a heart attack while playing golf at the Coral Ridge Country Club in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Ezra Taft Benson, he was born in August 1899 and he died in May 1994. His age was 94 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was congestive heart failure. Ezra Taft Benson was an American farmer, government official, and religious leader who served as the 15th United States Secretary of Agriculture during both presidential terms of Dwight D. Eisenhower and as the 13th President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from 1985 until his death in 1994. Dorothy Shoemaker McDermott, she was born in October 1906 and she died in June 1994. Her age was 87 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was heart attack. Dorothy McDermott was a teacher, real estate broker, Quaker activist, and Virginia legislator for the next 26 years. She died from a heart attack in Fairfax, Virginia. Mary Maxwell Gates, she was born in July 1929 and she died in June 1994. Her age was 64 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was breast cancer. Mary Maxwell Gates, mother of Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, was a civic leader and philanthropist. She died of breast cancer on the day she was to receive the Municipal League of King County Citizen of the Year Award. Edward Kienholz, he was born in October 1927 and he died in June 1994. His age was 66 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Edward Kienholz was an American installation artist known for his provocative works throughout much of his career. The work of Kienholz was more appreciated in Europe than his native United States, though American museums have featured his art more prominently since the 1990s. Ron Goldman, he was born in July 1968 and he died in June 1994. His age was 25 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was homicide. Ron Goldman was a waiter who was murdered alongside Nicole Brown Simpson in 1994. He was found dead with multiple stab wounds outside Brown's condominium in Los Angeles. Menachem Mendel Schneerson, he was born in April 1902 and he died in June 1994. His age was 92 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke complications. Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson was an American Orthodox rabbi and the most recent rabbi of the Lubavitch Hasidic dynasty. He is considered one of the most influential Jewish leaders of the 20th century. Lillian Holly, she was born in August 1890 and she died in June 1994. Her age was 103 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Lillian Holly was an American sheriff who was famous for being the sheriff of Lake County, Indiana, that John Dillinger escaped from in 1934. Jay Miner, he was born in May 1932 and he died in June 1994. His age was 62 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was kidney failure. Jay Miner was an American integrated circuit designer known primarily for developing graphics and audio chips for the Atari 2600 and Atari 8-bit computers, and as the father of Amiga. William Wilson Morgan, he was born in January 1906 and he died in June 1994. His age was 88 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. William Wilson Morgan was an American astronomer and astrophysicist. The principal theme in Morgan's work was stellar and galaxy classification. He is also known for helping prove the existence of spiral arms in our galaxy. Gary Kildall. He was born in May 1942 and he died in July 1994. His age was 52 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was head injury. Gary Kildall was an American computer scientist and microcomputer entrepreneur. During the 1970s, Kildall created the CP/M operating system, among other operating systems and programming tools, and subsequently founded Digital Research Incorporation to market and sell his software products. He is considered a pioneer of the personal computer revolution. Julian Schwinner. He was born in February 1918 and he died in July 1994. His age was 76 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pancreatic cancer. Julian Schwinner was a Nobel Prize-winning American theoretical physicist. He is best known for his work on quantum electrodynamics (QED), in particular for developing a relativistically invariant perturbation theory and for renormalizing QED to one-loop order. Schwinner was a physics professor at several universities. Marv Thornberry. He was born in September 1933 and he died in June 1994. His age was 60 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Marvelous Marv Thornberry was a Major League Baseball player known for his time with the New York Mets. Thornberry became a well-known figure after appearing in numerous Miller Lite beer commercials in 1970s and 1980s. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day. Take care.